Good morning, all of you. So, let us today study about Newton's second law of motion. Now, before studying this law, we should know about momentum. To understand this term momentum, let us consider some common observations. We have seen that in the game of table tennis, if the ball hits a player, he is not hurt. But when a cricket ball moving at the same speed as the table tennis ball hits a player, he gets hurt. This is because cricket ball is much heavier than the table tennis ball. The other common observation is if a bullet of small mass fired from a gun, it may kill a person, and this is because of the large velocity, or you can see large speed of the bullet. Now, in both the examples, we have observed that the impact produced by the objects depends on their mass as well as velocity. Therefore, there must be some quantity that combines mass of a body and velocity of a body. So, Newton identified this quantity and named it as momentum of the body. So, we define momentum as the product of its mass and velocity. So, momentum, or we can say linear momentum of a body, is the product of mass of the body and velocity of the body. It is denoted by the letter P. So, the formula for momentum comes out to be P is equal to m into v, where m is the mass of a body and v is the speed or velocity of the body. Then momentum is P is equal to mv. The SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, because mass is measured in kilogram and velocity is measured in meter per second. So SI unit of momentum is kilogram meter per second, and it is a vector quantity. Vector quantity means it has direction as well as magnitude. So now, as we understood about the term momentum, which is the product of mass and velocity, now let's move on to Newton's second law of motion. Now, according to Newton's second law of motion, the rate of change of momentum of a body is directly proportional to the external force applied on the body, which means force required to stop a moving body is directly proportional to the change of momentum. That is, it is directly proportional to its mass and velocity. Greater the mass, greater the velocity, so more force will be required to stop that particular object or that moving body. One thing more about Newton's second law is that Newton's second law of motion gives the relationship between the force applied on the body and the acceleration produced in the body. That is, greater the mass of an object, the more force it will take to accelerate the object, as you can see in the figure. Lower the mass, more is the acceleration. In the other one, greater the mass, less will be the acceleration. Now let us derive this relationship between force and acceleration. So we will derive the formula F is equal to mass into acceleration. Force is equal to mass into acceleration, which is the mathematical formulation of Newton's second law of motion. So consider a body of mass m moving with initial velocity u. Let a force F acts on the body for time t, so that the velocity of the body after time t becomes v. So diagrammatically you can show like this. Let's consider a body of mass m moving with initial velocity u, and let some force acts on this body. Here the time t is equal to 0, and after some time its velocity, final velocity, becomes v at some time t. So the initial momentum of the body will be equal to mass into initial velocity, which can be written as P1 is equal to m into u, where P1 is the initial initial momentum, and final momentum after some time t can be written as mass into final velocity, which can be written as P2 is equal to m into v. So when we talk about second law of motion, there is change in momentum, rate of change of momentum. Then change of momentum can be written as final momentum minus initial momentum, which is written as mv minus mu from these equations. We can also take m as common, and we will left with m into v minus u. Now rate of change of momentum can be written like this. Change of momentum is mv minus u, and rate means with respect to time. So this rate of change of momentum can be written as m into v minus u by t, and according to second law of motion, this rate of change of momentum is directly proportional to the force applied. So this can be written as F directly proportional to m v minus u upon t. So to remove this proportionality, whenever we remove the proportionality sign, we always introduce a constant. So when we remove this sign, this proportionality sign, we introduced a constant called k. So this equation becomes F is equal to k into m v minus u upon t. Also, we know that acceleration is equal to rate of change of velocity. So this equation, which was F is equal to k m v minus u upon t, will become this F is equal to k m into a, where this v minus u upon t is equal to acceleration, that is rate of change of velocity. So this can be written like this: F is equal to k m into a, and k is the constant of proportionality, and the value of k we take it as 1. So when we put the value of k here, we are left with this: F is equal to m into a, which is the mathematical formulation of Newton's second law of motion, which gives the relationship between the force applied on the body and the acceleration produced in the body. Now if we talk about the SI unit of force, SI unit of force will be equal to Newton. SI unit of force is equal to Newton, and 1 Newton is equal to kg meter per second square, because mass is measured in kg and acceleration is measured in meter per second square. So 1 Newton is equal to kg meter per second square. So this was all about Newton's second law of motion. I hope Newton's second law of motion is clear to you all, which is the rate of change of momentum directly proportional to the force applied. And you have also studied the mathematical formulation of Newton's second law of motion, and which gives the relationship between the force and the acceleration produced in the body.